The views and opinions expressed by John and DJ do not reflect those of any intelligent or rational human being and are solely the property of the Brightside Chat.
This show is a proud member of the Nerdy Legion Podcast Network. Get more at nerdylegion.com. Enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome back to the Brightside and issue number 132. John, what are we doing for title here?
I don't know, man. I came up with the last two.
Hey, I came up with all this. This is your thing.
Probably Good Asian, I would guess.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking
the one
the
we
same
both
thing.
read, so
yeah.
It's the only one we both read.
John, did I read that one?
You said you did.
I know. No, that's the joke. It's like when we get to checkout, I'm like, I don't remember what I read. Whoops.
I know I read it. I just don't remember it.
Just don't remember it. So, very quick, tidy show this week. What's the total? It's like an hour and 30 something
Hour
minutes.
25 or so. Yeah, we're high and tight this week.
Yeah,
lean and mean.
Lean and mean, not high and tight. High and tight. Your haircut?
Yeah.
But there is we had in Kryptonite talking Bad Batch, there's a great crossover in there that we can't talk about spoilers. You can't talk spoiler free, but there's a great crossover there. If you're interested in reading some comics to go with it, John's got some information back in Kryptonite, so definitely check that out. Bad Batch, we have spoiler free talk before we get to Kryptonite, but in the Kryptonite Key Club where we talk spoilers, good times in there. Good times. And a lot of great books this week. We have tons of books to talk about. Short on news, but tons of books. Making you some money.
That's it. That's our goal.
That's our goal. All right. That it, John? You ready to get into the store?
I am ready.
All right. Let's do it. Hey, John. How are we doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. We're back at it. Another week of giving the information. We just give and give.
That's what we do. We're givers.
That's what we have. A lot of information this week too. We have a lot. Yeah. What did I just say? About 22 books we're gonna go over, and
there's a bunch of Speculator books.
Speculator, yeah, a ton of Speculator books coming out this week. And we got a bunch for back issue as well. And, wow, lots to get. Not a ton of news though.
No.
So let's have
kind
some
of a slow
banter.
News week. Okay. I mean, I don't have anything queued up. So what do you want to banter about?
It's like when somebody says to a comedian, "Oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke. Be funny."
Yeah. It's like okay.
Okay, let's have banter. I don't know. I don't know. What'd you do today? We're trying to stretch, as they say.
Yeah, it worked. I processed my shipment this week.
How was business last Wednesday? That's something we haven't been talking about. How'd you guys do last Wednesday?
Last Wednesday was really good. I had a pretty good week. Yeah.
What sold really well?
Considering it wasn't necessarily all comics because it wasn't a big week for new comics, really. Just had a lot of people through. It was just a busy day overall.
That's good.
But
you had a good day, though?
I can't really peg one. Well, I mean, one comic I could peg for sure was Batman Fortnite that was gone at 10 minutes after 11.
Did that lady come back?
No.
No.
No, I think...
she got the message?
Yeah, I think she got the hint. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that... nothing stands out as being like a super great seller, but
no, anything. We'll get to that. We've got some big stuff coming up. We got a lot, like I said, we got a lot of stuff coming up for tomorrow. So, or today, as people are listening to this.
That's
today,
true, this morning.
So let's get to that. Let's get to our. We only have a few things on breaking news, so let's get to our breaking news. And this first one really disappoints me.
My email just froze. Okay, there we go. So some flash news, I guess. Looks like
I said breaking news, not flash.
Yeah, flash news. Looks like Tom Cavanaugh, who plays Harrison Wells, or like such and such Wells every season.
All the Wells,
and all the Wells is the Council of Wells. And then Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco, are both leaving The Flash as series regulars after this season. So Flash has already been renewed for season 8 next year. Looks like these two characters will not be part of that. At least, like I said, as series regulars.
Oh, that's better.
I mean, I don't know. That's what it says. In the article, they didn't go on to say that they may appear or not, but usually, like, series regular is what they get promoted to after they've been guest starring for a while.
Right.
So maybe they'll appear, especially if next season ends up being the last, which kind of fingers crossed, because I think we're there by now.
I kind of feel like
imagine,
that now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't imagine they don't show up for like the series finale or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, not to just kind of jump on the CW at this point, but like I'm kind of ready for a total overhaul of CW shows.
Well, we have Superman and Lois.
I mean, we have Superman and Lois, and we have Stargirl.
I think Tom Bellows and I had a conversation on Twitter the other day, like a week or so ago. I think it was Tom, and we were talking about this exact subject. Like, there's nothing really good, except for, and I haven't seen it yet, and that's just started back up.
Oh yeah, Legends. Yeah, so I've watched the first 2 episodes of Legends, and it's pretty good. But I mean, it's the same. It's Legends. It's always what it is. But. Yep. Like, I sit down to watch Supergirl or The Flash every week, and it's like I just could not be less interested in anything that's happening on the screen while I'm watching those shows.
You have your phone out.
I just really feel like they have both worn past their welcomes now. So, anyways, apparently Tom Cavanaugh and Carlos Valdez feel the same way because they are ready to move on. To other projects.
I have a show that I'll tell you about when we get to Real World that I kind of feel that way about. It's pretty fun. It's like I think you'll understand because you're watching it too. But yeah, it's like I feel the same way about The Flash. Like, I started the season and I feel like the COVID break for them really hurt them because the end of that last year ended on such a like weird spot. They didn't know what to do. I think there was a bunch of rewritings because what's her name that plays Frost? She was pregnant last year. They probably had it written in a certain way for her. And now when they came back to film, she wasn't pregnant anymore. Right. So they were able to, it was weird. And not that had anything to do with the story, but it just, I'm not, it's kind of not there. And is it me, or do you feel like since Arrow went away and Stephen Amell's gone, the whole entire, it's not the Arrowverse anymore. It feels like it's falling apart.
Well, it does, because there's less, I mean, we haven't seen any crossovers really since Crisis. Right. So there's been no intermingling of any of the characters. They did mention Diggle on Legends this week.
They also mentioned him.
I think they mentioned him in Flash.
Batwoman as well.
Okay, yeah. So I don't watch that, but so it was definitely Legends, though they mentioned Diggle. But yeah, going back to what you were saying about COVID, apparently, according to the article, Tom Cavanaugh was actually set to leave at the end of last season, but because of the COVID shortened season, and they didn't actually finish out his storyline,
right?
He actually. I don't want to say he got roped back in, but he kind of, inadvertently got brought back for another season more than he intended because they had to finish up the storylines they were working on. So I don't know if that's necessarily the same for Cisco, but, if you go back to the end of, actually almost all of last season, he was kind of missing for most of that too. So
yeah.
I feel like they've both kind of been on their way out.
They've both kind of been off and on as it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it's funny because Cisco's one of those characters, especially he was, he guest appeared on Arrow
a lot
before they even announced The Flash. Right. So I can't remember, Arrow had to break into the building for something, and him and what's her name? I forget her real name, but Frost.
Yeah, I can't think of her name either, but.
Yeah. Anyways, they were Danielle
Panabaker.
Danielle Panabaker. They were in the warehouse at the time, and I think that was season 2 of Arrow, which was the year before. But they were, and then there were a couple of Easter eggs there as well. They were the Easter eggs, as a matter of fact, which was. Right. But I've always liked Cisco, and I feel weird when he's not around. And then Tom Cavanaugh, there was a story, the storyline as it goes. You thought, he's dead. You're like, oh, they wrote him out. And I was glad to see him coming back. And now we hear this. And the whole show is like, I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure if I'll watch if those two aren't on.
Which, like I said, I kind of feel like his death was supposed to be the end.
Yeah.
Right. But now since he's back for the season, now they're kind of having to shoehorn him back in again. But I think like his death would have been the end of season 6, and that would have been it for him.
Right. So clearly there was rewriting going on. So
right.
All right. Well, we stretched that one out. Good job.
We did. Yeah. Yeah. Because these will go fairly quickly because they're just a couple of bits of casting news, really. But Hannah John Kamen, who played, is it Ghost? Was that her name? Ghost on Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yes.
Yeah. She has been cast as Red Sonja in the upcoming Red Sonja film. So yeah, I think that's a good casting. I like her. I haven't seen her in very much. She was in another show on. There was a show on Hulu that she did. It was just a 1-season thing, but she was really good in that too. So I think she's a great actress, and definitely.
That's the picture I have up is from her in Ghost as Ghost, the Ghost character with little animation picture of Red Sonja in the background, but yeah, I think she's going to be great.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, she's going to need red hair.
Looking forward to it. Well, yeah. I mean, that's one of those things where
easy to do.
You have to have the red hair. Like, lots of these things they take liberties with. I don't think you can do Red Sonja without the red hair. So they're definitely going to have to.
I don't know
to do that at least.
This day and age, John. I mean,
it's not brunette Sonja or blonde Sonja. It is Red Sonja. So.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, if nothing else, I'm not sure about the chainmail bikini, but she's definitely going to have the red hair. So
yeah. Oh, I picked a nice photo for later on where you when we get to checkout.
Okay.
There were a ton of covers to choose from.
Oh yeah, for Red Sun. Yeah, for sure.
So
and then last but not least, for Netflix, we have Lady Killer is being worked on, and it looks like Blake Lively has been cast to star in that, and they've also gotten a writer, Diablo Cody, is going to be writing that show. So I read Lady Killer. I believe it's Dark Horse, and it was pretty good comic series. There's 2 volumes of it, so about 10 or 12 issues total. But yeah, that should be good. Looking forward to that.
Cool.
And yeah, that's all I have for news. Really, not a lot. So.
That's okay. All right. Yeah. That's easy enough, Yep. All right, John. You ready to get to some comic books then?
Oh yeah, we got a lot of comics.
Yes, we do. All right. What am I going to spend my money on this week?
All right. So the first book we're going to take a look at is Beta Ray Bill, issue number 1. This is the second printing that comes out today. There's been some good sales on the main cover, but just at cover price. But there's a 1 in 25 variant for this that's selling for between $40 and $60. So that's definitely one to grab if you get a chance.
Yep, that's the one I have up here.
Okay. Black Cotton, issue number 2. It's going just a little bit over cover price right now at $6. Probably a lower print run on that book, though, so if you could find one out there, you might want to pick it up.
Okay.
DC Comics Festival of Heroes Asian Superhero Celebration. So this is another one of their big $9.99 anthology, one-shot books. Mm-hmm. There's 2 covers for this that are selling right around cover price, maybe even $1 or $2 below cover price on eBay right now. but there's a 1 in 25 incentive that is currently selling for between $75 and $100, but it is trending down a little bit. So if you can find one for less than that, it might be a good pickup. I'd probably stay away from the $100 range at this point on that, though.
Yeah, the 1 in 25 is the Monkey Prince cover?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I have here. I had the two main covers, and then the Monkey Prince. Now,
the B cover is an Art Germ cover, which is really cool.
It's really nice. I was like,
I
that's
really
the
like
other
that
main cover? That's a nice cover.
It is really nice.
That's really nice, yeah.
Cassandra Cain.
Yeah.
There, so yeah, really cool. But yeah, look for the 1 in 25 if you can. All right,
I'm going
Department
for the
of
other main
Truth.
cover myself.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you just for the cover, that's the one to grab.
Exactly.
Because it's definitely a better cover than the Monkey King cover, but
Monkey Prince.
Monkey Prince, yeah.
It's not a king.
Well, he'll be a king one day.
Maybe.
This is the bright side, so
right.
I'm being bright about the fact that his father's going to die and he's going to become the king. So,
well, he's a monkey.
I don't know what could be more. I don't know what could be more bright than that.
How about being a prince and you're immortal? That would stink.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to be a prince forever. He's never going to die.
That's like saying I won the lottery and I got to pay the taxes. Oh, I'm going to be a prince forever. That's horrible.
I know.
All the peasants are like, screw you.
Sorry, I'm only going to get 85% of this. Okay. Department of Truth #1 had a 5th printing.
I got all excited when I saw this. I go, is there another Department of Truth out? Oh, no, it's just #1.
Yeah, it's the 5th printing of #1, but it looks like Image has slipped another secret variant in on this one.
Ooh.
And they lazily used the exact same secret variant they did on issue #1 first printing, where, basically the main cover has like JFK on the cover, but like the secret variant has Lee Harvey. And it's the exact same cover as the first printing. But in any case, these are probably a 1 in 5 ratio is what people are saying. But it's selling for between $60 and $70. And I saw sales up in the $100 range on eBay today for this. So that's definitely the one to be looking for. If your store hasn't been clued in on this and doesn't catch it, you may be able to grab one of these for cover price.
Cool.
So get your hunting shoes on and go out and look for that.
The store I've been going to, they're clueless.
Yeah, you might be able to find
a big chain store.
You might be able to find 7 or 8 of them there.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Buy them all.
Yep.
Okay, I've never even heard of this book. It's called Hank Howard Pizza Detective, issue #1, selling for up to $30. Your guess is as good as mine. I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Be low print run, maybe? I don't know.
I would imagine for sure. And it's probably like, Pizza Hut Press or something.
Yeah,
I don't know who puts this book out.
Howard. Yeah. I don't know.
So, yeah.
I was looking for Howard the Duck myself, but
I thought that's what my mind looked for Howard the Duck too when I read this title, but I don't believe it's Marvel or has anything to do with that. But
yeah.
Okay, Fantastic Four #32. There's a 1 in 50 Kirby variant. Looks like it's selling right now for between $40 and $70. So $40 is a little bit under ratio. So you may be able to grab a deal on this.
It's a cool cover.
And then there's a Peach Momoko 1 in 100 variant.
Not as cool.
It's still holding pretty steady at about $125. I really like the main cover on this book. By Mark Brooks. It's not actually going to be worth anything, probably, but
I don't have an image of that.
Best, I think it's the best cover.
Told me ahead of time.
Though. Just popped into my head that I liked it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but no, I do like the Kirby variant though. That one's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, you can't go wrong with the Kirby stuff. But. All right, G.I. Joe #281. This is the first appearance of Sherlock. Don't think it's Holmes, but But there's lots of sales for this book, right around the $7 range, which is almost double cover price. In the 1 in 10 variant, looks like it's selling for $25 plus, so double ratio plus some. So
Scarlet and Snake Eyes.
Yeah,
looks like Scarlet. Anyways,
yeah, I'd say usually if you put Scarlet and Snake Eyes on the cover, you're good to go.
Yep.
Speaking of Snake Eyes, I didn't put this in the FOC because it's not really a new book, but it looks like Snake Eyes Dead Game number 5 is on FOC. I completely forgot that series even existed. It's been so long since the last issue came out. I was like, oh, this is still a thing?
Yeah.
But apparently it is.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, this Nottingham book from Mad Cave just keeps going crazy. Number 3 comes out. It's selling for $50 plus already. So definitely be hunting for that. And then there's a second printing of number 2 that also comes out today. That's selling for about $10. So yeah, really crazy on this book. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Silk issue number 3, the 1 in 25 variant is going for a bit over ratio here between $35 and $40. But the main cover is also the first cover appearance for Saya Ishii. And so that they're
both really nice covers.
Yeah, and that may garner some attention a little bit down the line. So I don't think you could go wrong with that either. And then Silk in general is just a good book. So
yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to that one for next week. Yeah. We're picking it up today.
I'd say today.
Today
is
talking
the crow
about
flies.
it. I'll probably talk about it next week.
Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog number 39.
No
as
image.
Per usual. Yeah, the 1 in 10 here is selling for between $15 and $20. So nothing new for these.
Yeah.
Star Wars 13. Now this is a War of the Bounty Hunters prelude issue, so it might see some extra interest. Overall. But the 1 in 25 variant here looks like it's selling for pretty much ratio at $30. So, but yeah, definitely. If you got a chance to read Bounty Hunters Alpha last week, it looks like this is going to be a pretty good story. So
we can talk about that later and check out.
Yeah. Sticking with Star Wars, we have High Republic number 5. The 1 in 25 variant here, again, is selling for right around $30. So, pretty much at ratio, but there are a couple of buy it nows up on eBay in the $50 range.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's definitely one to watch. New book from Image, Time After Time.
It's actually Time Before Time.
I thought it was when I was reading this. I was like, I thought it was Time Before Time.
Because I went to Google, I went to look up Time After Time. Number 1, I couldn't find it, and then I think you even have it.
Cyndi Lauper kept popping up.
Yeah. Yep,
and down below where I have it
for next week.
Correctly.
It's Time Before Time.
Before Time.
So
the these notes that I get, looks like there was a typo in them, but.
Yeah.
Anyways, time before, time after. It's time.
Yeah. Hey.
It's all relative.
It's just my time when I'm trying to find these images.
Yeah. So
what are the odds that it all worked out? Look at those puns.
I know it.
We're making something out of nothing here.
Hey, stretch. We're stretching. There's a 1 in 25 variant here, though, that looks like it's selling some highs at $35, but also in the low $15 range. So $15 is cheap for a 1 in 25 variant.
Yeah.
If you can get it for that, it's definitely worth picking up. But 25 to 35 seems to be the average. And then last but not least, we have You Promised Me Darkness, issue number 2. There's not a lot of listings for this on eBay, but there is one that has current bids over $26 with like 30 hours left. So it's definitely going to go higher. And there is one up with a buy it now of $40 on eBay. So,
oh, wow.
Again, another one of these small press books that seem to have a lot of people looking for.
Huh. Interesting.
And as I said, that is it for Speculator Roundup.
All right. Well, then let's get into back issue bonus.
Forgot about that. All right,
you'll get used to it.
I will. Black Widow number 6. I just got your joke. I didn't just get it, but I didn't get your joke until I was listening back to the show last week.
We're going deep cuts here for jokes.
Yeah, well, because it
Last
just popped
week-
into my head. Cause
What did I say?
I didn't catch it when you said it the first time.
Oh, I know
but
what it was.
when you said either you're diving in or you really like it.
the book.
And and I was laughing when I was driving my car, and I was like, oh, I was like, that went right over my head when I was listening, but
I didn't get the reply out of it that I thought I would.
well, yeah, because I didn't catch it at all.
You did laugh though. You're like,
Yeah, but
moving on.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was funny.
Picturing you driving in the car like, ah!
Yeah, I was cracking up. I was like, oh, that was funny. So,
Hey, thanks for the compliment.
Yeah,
it's
no
often
problem.
I tell a good
It's
one.
not often. Right. That's why I wanted to
You
make
gotta
sure I
get it
brought
in
it up because it might be a year before it happens again. So, all right, Black Widow issue number 6. This book just came out a couple. I know, right? I mean, it's been 2 years that we've been doing it. And
Two and a half years, and I finally got one that got you to laugh.
So,
all right, Black Widow number 6.
Yeah, Black Widow number 6 just came out a couple of weeks ago. Still sitting in the $15 to $20 range, but the 1 in 10 design variant here now is up over $50, and the 1 in 25 variant has just hit $200. So that's pretty crazy. Now this was a first appearance book a couple weeks ago. So I mean,
who was
we
the
did talk
appearance?
about
Do you
it.
remember?
I don't even remember.
I love the book. I love the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't even remember. But I'm just thinking like that.
Wait
1
till we
in
get
25
to checkout.
variant.
I got a book I liked. I can't even remember.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
I really liked it, I think.
Yeah. Okay, we talked about Lady Killer back up in the news so long ago. But Dark Horse Comics from 2015, Lady Killer number 1, of course, was optioned by Netflix. We got our casting news. So the first issue now is up to about $125. There's a second print of issue 1 that's selling for about $40. And even issue 2 of this series is selling for about $40. So definitely a book that's going to see a lot of interest going forward, waiting for that series to come out. Secret Wars, Secret Love, number 1.
Yep.
This is a 2015 anthology book that had a pretty low print run. I guess it's got a pretty nice Miss Marvel cover, so it's selling for about $50. I have to admit that, like, when I was reading these notes, I kept reading that as Star Wars for some reason.
So did I.
And I'm like, why is there a Miss Marvel cover on a Star Wars book? And I kept looking at it over and over and over again, and then it clicked that it was Secret Wars.
I know when I was
Secret Love.
It's funny you say that. I was doing the same thing. I saw the S in
Marvel
Secret, and I was like, Star Wars.
I know Marvel has their like theme variant cover months, but to have Miss Marvel on a Star Wars book would be pretty odd. So
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
We both did the same thing.
Yeah. Well, at least we think it's funny. I don't know if anybody else does, but
don't forget to laugh in your car tomorrow.
I will. Yeah, I will. And when I'm listening
At least
back,
somebody will be.
I was like, "Oh, we were funny." Okay.
Timestamp.
New X-Men number 5. This is from 2004. It's the first appearance of Pixie, selling for between $20 and $25.
Right.
Avengers Academy, issue number 1 from 2010. There's a bunch of first appearances in this book, selling for between $60 and $80. Check your dollar boxes for those while you're out, because could be there.
Yep.
House of Mystery, number 16 from 2009. This had a Sweet Tooth preview. Now, we talked about Sweet Tooth last week. We got the trailer, the Netflix trailer for that show. So this preview is selling for about $30.
Pretty creepy cover.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I read the new Sweet Tooth issues that came out maybe 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't love it. Now, maybe it's because I never read any earlier Sweet Tooth. But I don't know. It didn't really do much for me. So, although I do think the trailer looks interesting. So, we'll see. Maybe having read the first part of the series would have helped with that.
Maybe,
book,
yeah. I'm sure that. I mean, a lot of times the shows fill in a lot of stuff for you, and it's a little more entertaining sometimes. Like we've had a few books like that.
Yeah, hopefully. And then Robert Downey Jr. is producing that. I found out after the fact.
Oh, really?
Should be
did
good.
not know
his
that.
production. Yeah, his production company is working on that. So
Cool.
all right, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is from the first series, issue number 47. This is the first appearance of Space Usagi. So this is Usagi Yojimbo.
Yep.
Usagi's been building up in popularity lately, and he's got a series coming out. So his books are starting to rise. No surprise here, then, that this is about $200 now. Invincible number 16. This is the first appearance of Angstrom Levy. So Robert Kirkman has already teased him as having a large role in later seasons of the show. And then, having read the book, he's definitely a character that's going to play large. So this book is selling for between $150 and $200 and probably has room to keep going up. So,
wow.
We talked about Invincible number 1 a few weeks ago. And then I think a month or two ago, we had a whole list of Invincible books with first appearances. Maybe after the first episode came out, I think we did that. So anything Invincible right now is on fire, and only going to keep going up. And then last but not least, we have this is the DC Free Comic Book Day Divergence book. This is the first appearance of Grail, who is the daughter of Darkseid. This is selling for about $10, which is a lot for a Free Comic Book Day book. There are some cheaper copies out there that you can grab, so search around a little bit for it, and you might be able to grab it. But Grail's another character that just has room to keep going up, because she's been underutilized and is actually a pretty good character.
Yeah.
So, that is it for the Darkseid War storyline that was in the New 52 version of the Justice League. She played a pretty big part in that.
Oh, okay.
We haven't really seen much of her since. So I think she's kind of poised to reappear at some point.
Cool.
So, all right. Like I said, that is it for back issue bonus.
All right. Well, then let's get right to FOC.
Yeah, and this forgot about that one too. Not a lot here on FOC. DC's got the most books here. We've got variant covers for Detective Comics 1037 by Lee Bermejo. Future State Gotham number 2 from
That's
Derek
a cool
Chu.
cover.
Yeah, that Future State is really cool. Superman 32 from In-Hyuk Lee. And then my favorite, Joker number 4 from Lucio Perillo.
That's a cool cover, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool cover. And then there's one new series from DC, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, issue number 1 of 8. And there's multiple covers for that. From Marvel, as I mentioned last week, there are no variant covers available on FOC yet. It's too early in the week. And there's one new series from Marvel, Web of Spider-Man number 1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries, and there's multiple covers for that. From Boom, we have a book called Good Luck, issue number 1 of 5 with multiple covers. Ablaze Comics has Space Pirate Captain Harlock, issue number 1 with multiple covers.
That's actually a nice cover.
It is a really cool cover.
Yeah.
And I feel like Captain Harlock is a manga, like that's an anime character. Yeah,
okay.
I know I've heard that name before. So I think this is a character that's been around previously. Dynamite has D-I-E, exclamation point.
Yep.
Namite Lives, number 1.
Lives.
Yeah, so this is like the second Dynamite zombie series we're getting. And of course, being Dynamite, there. When I say multiple covers, that's an understatement.
The cover here is that's Vampirella.
Lucio Perillo, yeah.
Yeah, and it's Vampirella
really
in the
cool.
background there. It is a cool cover.
Actually, the main cover there is probably one of the nicer ones because, like I said, Lucio Perillo does some pretty good work. And then finally, from Aftershock Comics, we have Bunny Mask number 1, and there's 2 covers for that.
That is a weird title.
It looks weird. Yeah, I don't know
Looks
quite what's going on there, but
she's
we'll
green. She has a bunny mask, hence the title. And she's.
I mean, they don't bury the lead.
Nope.
They
Nope.
put it right on our
The
front
only thing
street,
that's
so.
not, it doesn't say in the title is Bloody Bunny Mask.
Yes, because
That's about it.
It is, yeah,
It's
it is a little
pretty bloody cover.
Yeah.
But, all right. All right. That moves us right along to Checkout.
It does.
All right. Why don't you start us off with this first one? I read this as well.
Okay. So the first book is from Image Comics. It's called Good Asian, issue number 1. This is going to be a 9-issue miniseries. Now I know why you wanted me to read it. It was written by...
I did. I forgot. I read that earlier in the week. I'll say the last name.
Yeah. Written by Pornsak Pitchett. I'm positive I said that right. And then it had art by Alexander Tefenki. Also sure I said that right. Cover art by Dave Johnson. So,
right. Yeah. That wouldn't be Pinchot, would it? Like as in Bronson
like
Pinchot?
Bronson? No. Well,
no, his
it
wasn't
could be
spelled.
pronounced that way, but his wasn't spelled like that.
It's Pitchet shot.
Pitchet.
But I saw
Pitchet
that
shot?
earlier this week when I read it, and I'm like, ooh, I hope John read this so I don't have to say it.
Yeah.
I was like, porn sack Pintet shot.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the story.
So this book takes place in 1936 Chinatown. And so it's definitely gritty noir detective.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a show if I didn't bring up my favorite show of all time, Warrior. But this reminded me a lot of Warrior.
Yeah.
Not so much the time frame, because Warrior actually took place like right around the turn of the century, right around like 1900. But it took place in San Francisco, and it had a lot of the same feeling. You know, there was a lot of racial terms that were used that were also used in that show.
Yes.
So it had that same feel. But, obviously at this time in America, the Chinese were not well looked upon. That definitely comes through in this book. There's a lot of racism here. But this follows
they were
the
banned.
main character.
Was that was in this book, right?
What's that?
The Chinese were banned in this country. Yeah. For the they were the first nationality to be banned in the country, and it was like,
yeah, they didn't have it easy.
No,
back in those days. But the main character here, who is Asian, although you wouldn't be able to tell from his name, is Edison Hark, and he's a detective, a Chinese American detective. And like I said, this is a detective story, so he's on the trail of a killer. Again in Chinatown, where the cops come in and really think everybody's everybody's guilty and everybody's a criminal. And this just felt like watching kind of like an old like detective movie or show. I didn't really love it, to be honest with you.
Really?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I did get a little intrigued with the murder, and like I'm kind of on board for the next issue, just to see what's going on. But I thought it was okay. Like it didn't really grab me. I feel like these things do better in like TV or movies. Like it's hard to, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's hard to read these stories. You want to get the ambiance, I guess, of seeing it on the screen.
Right.
But I don't know. I kind of felt like it was a little slow, and I had a hard time really getting into it. But yeah, I did like the like I said, once they got to kind of like the body and the murder, I think it picked up a little bit, and like I said, it did grab me enough that I do want to read the next issue, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't two thumbs up for me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say 2 thumbs up. I wouldn't, but I did like it. Maybe a little bit more than you did, but you're right. Yeah. It's not something. But at the same time, I was going to save this for Real World, but I am in the middle of Warrior. So they're blending big time in my head, because I'm like, did I hear this here or this there? And it's like, but yeah, the detective in this one, and then you have the detective. Well, it definitely
feels like the detective in Warrior. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I can't wait to get to that then, because
okay, let's speed this along. All right.
No. Well, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts, because I've brought it up a couple of times.
Oh yeah. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm only two episodes in, so.
Oh, okay. So not super far.
Not super far, but enough that I can have a conversation.
Right.
All right. Next one. Did you read Eve from Boom?
I did. I actually had it on my It was one of the books I was going to plug, or that I did plug last week.
Yeah.
To read today, but I ended up liking, honestly, both of these books more. So.
Oh, okay. I liked this book more than I liked Good Asian. To be honest. Yeah, I actually thought this one was pretty good. This is the one where I'm like, I don't really remember a ton of it, but I do remember liking the little girl. I love Eve. I love the story.
Well, you start out meeting her, and she's she's like exploring her island. Yeah, she's exploring the island where she is, and you kind of find out that has all been like VR training, and she was in some kind of suspended animation or hibernation. And she gets woken up to find it, very confused to find out that she's never really done any of the things she thought she was doing.
Right.
And this is kind of one of those, again,
Truman Show,
dystopian. Yeah, but this is, just another one of those. The world's gone to hell in a handbasket.
That's why you didn't like it.
There's one scene where, she's looking over like kind of like a wasteland, and it turns out that that's like Manhattan, so things have gone awry. Now this, from what I read a little bit of the afterword by the author. I didn't read it all, but this is not necessarily where we went wrong. This is a climate climate disaster that happened. So
that's
getting into the climate, the climate change. I mean, again, that is still man-made, but this isn't the case where we just nuked each other and everybody was dead. And this is a case where we allowed the climate change to go unchecked for too long and basically wiped ourselves out. So
yeah, it looks like that feel to it.
Yeah, she's obviously the savior, right? Like she's been trained
for something,
which we don't know.
We don't know yet.
But to do whatever needs to be done to save everybody. So, I remember it. Of course, I just read it yesterday, but
I read it last week, and I was just like, it was a pretty interesting take. I know, and now that I think of it, I didn't even think of that dystopian future thing that you don't like, but
that's kind of why I was like, I was just kind of like, here we are again.
Negativity sells, John.
I know. I mean, we can't have a bright future. I know as humans.
Exactly.
So.
No.
Who would want to buy that book? Who wants to buy the book where everybody's happy?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
So
look at our ratings.
Yeah.
The bright side.
Nobody wants to hear that. So.
Nope. No, but I did enjoy it. And that's what I said. It's like, when you read something like, I know I really like that. Right. But I don't know why.
Don't remember it, but I remember I liked it.
Talk about a riveting endorsement.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get to your next. I did not read this one, but I had plenty of covers to choose from for this, and I went with the abs.
Well, it's Dynamite, so of course there's a lot of
Dynamite.
covers.
Yeah,
and they do their cosplay covers too. So there's a lot to choose from here. Invincible Red Sonja, issue number 1, again from Dynamite Comics. It was written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. Had art by Moritat. and cover art by Amanda Connor. So this is a book that on paper has everything going for it for me. I really like Red Sonja as a character. I really like Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor. I loved their work on Harley Quinn and other books that they've done. This should have been a slam dunk for me. And I do still have hopes for it, but issue number 1 did let me down just a little bit.
That's me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. Actually, my phone beeped. I still have hopes for it because I really like I said, I really like Jimmy and Amanda, and they've never really let me down on the books they've done. But I hoped for a little bit more with this first issue. I think part of it might have been the art, like Moritat. The art was okay, but I would have rather Amanda did the art here because she generally does the art. She did all the art on Harley Quinn. And I would have liked to seen her doing the artwork here with Jimmy doing the writing. But I don't know. It left a little bit to be desired for me, but
all right.
We'll see.
I know you're a big fan of.
Like I said, I'm a big fan of the character, and like I said, I'm a big fan of these creators. So I still have hopes for it, but
all right.
Hopefully it gets better.
Cool. All right, let's see. Next one
this
I have
is the
up
cover
here.
that you sent me.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. There were there had to have been.
Like 35 covers at least.
I was going to say 25. I don't know. I just kept scrolling and scrolling. It was ridiculous.
Well, and then there's like artist exclusive covers. I mean, there's covers of covers.
Yeah.
So.
Did you read Jenny Zero?
No.
One Party Monster? I did.
No, I haven't.
And I liked it again enough to put in here. So
cool. Yeah.
Check that out and get back to me.
I liked it enough, right? I wish you had read it because I don't remember what happened. But
it's like that's the
I know I liked it.
I gotta review these things before I come back on. I gotta look them back up. Like even just flipping through the pages, I should just flip through and be like, oh yeah, this one.
Like I said, that's why I do my reading. I do my reading on Mondays for these books. Like I read all the other books that I was going to read last week back by Friday,
right?
And then I just had these sitting here. Because I didn't want to read them.
Right.
I actually got caught up on all my reading last week to the point where I read some older stuff that I had been wanting to read that I hadn't read yet. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Did you read War of the Bounty Hunters #1?
I read War of the Bounty Hunters. Yeah, the Alpha. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun.
That seems like a real. That one I remember. I remember that story, that the whole, I love the idea. It's been a week. So I love the idea where they can take anything and be like, we have this time period here. Let's just say that Han's melting.
Right. Because you think that like Boba Fett just flies from Bespin with Carbonite Han Solo in the back and goes straight to Tatooine and that's it. But, we find out here that there's more to that story.
Right.
So,
and that's what's so much. And it's funny that it took 35 years to do it?
Yeah.
Something like that for us to get. I mean, there was a 3-year period between movies, but we have no idea how long. We do know the outcome. We do know that he doesn't.
Well, right.
defrost.
Eventually he ends up hanging on the wall at Jabba's palace. So we know that much.
You know what I thought would have been cool? What if we find out here that they actually thawed him out? And Han comes out and actually has an adventure or something. Then they have to put him back in.
And then he says, okay, I'm done. Let me get back in this carbonite.
They get him back in. I don't know. It's isn't that crazy? I was like, because when they said he was melting or thawing or whatever, and I'm like, oh, maybe they actually get him out of there or something. I don't know. But the one thing I was disappointed with this book is probably the same way Boba Fett felt, is like he goes through that entire thing and then at the end you're like, oh, that was for naught.
Yeah. Yeah. But I thought the art was great in this book too.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. So yeah, I'm definitely looking like this is really the first big, well, no, it's not the first, but we haven't had a big Star Wars crossover in a while. So like this is going to touch all the different books plus, it's a Marvel event, so it's going to have its own book and it's going to touch all the other books. Yeah. So not quite War of the Realms, but close.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
luckily I'm reading most of the other ones anyways.
Yeah.
So, but this one was really good.
I
really
mean, I've
enjoyed
kind
it.
of dropped off of Dr. Aphra.
Yeah, I'm not reading that one. No, I'm not reading that one either.
But I do
Vader,
read Star
Star
Wars. I do read
Wars.
Vader. I do read the High Republic. Now, the High Republic won't have anything to do with this.
I hope not.
But I stopped reading, like, Bounty Hunters as well. So I'm probably
Yeah.
going to have to read those during the event. But yeah, I had kind of dropped off of both of those because I didn't care for them too much. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what else I have here. Because as I read books, I just screen grab them and then I'll
Right.
put them right into a folder. And then let's see what we got. Oh, Batman 108.
No, I read that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Miracle
I
Molly.
had actually read that. We talked about that last show, actually. I had already read it.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about the book.
Well, no.
Right.
We didn't go into it.
What'd
but
you
yeah, I
think
like
of
the
Miracle
character.
Molly?
I liked her.
I liked it
Yeah.
a lot because I thought it was going to be another like Harley or another
Yes,
punchline.
definitely. She's not.
She's
It's really
kind
different.
of in the middle. You're not
Yeah.
sure. Like, I mean, she did have at the beginning of the book when they said, when you thought it was Gordon or whatever, but it's actually Batman,
Right. Yeah, I did. I definitely thought it was Gordon.
Right. But she was awesome. She's like really smart, like Harley.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you
And
can
knew
take-
she was talking. Yeah, basically knew it was Batman the whole time.
Yeah, well, what the giveaway I thought was awesome when she's like, yeah, the giveaway was when we went up whenever they stepped off the building and he didn't
Right,
freak out. She goes, that
Right.
usually
She
gets
said
people
most
right
people
away.
freak out. Yeah.
But before that, who was she talking? Was she talking to Joker? Who was she talking to? Who's the bad guy here? And they were like, you know what you have to do if they don't comply or whatever. And she goes, yeah, I know. Like she's gonna have to kill him. So she is evil. She has that in her.
For sure. She reminded me a lot of I can't think of her name, but from Falcon Winter Soldier. Carly. She reminded me a bit of Carly.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know,
Yeah, like they have
she's
a
kinda got
purpose.
like they have a purpose, and they're in their mind they're trying to make things better, even though they go about it the way they go about it. So it definitely had that Carly feel for me.
Right.
But yeah, I thought she was better than I thought she was going to be. So.
Well, yeah, because I thought it was a different take than I was expecting. I was expecting another just, bad guy, a girl playing the role and it's not. She's a little bit more complex than that, which is really cool. I mean, we kind of should have expected that from Tinian, but.
Yeah, but.
Or Tynan, or however you say it.
Tynan.
Okay. And now we're getting to the next week's looking forward to. I have a little banner up in front of it. So are you looking forward to, I am, Justice League Last Ride?
Yeah.
Put it on the list. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Hoping it's fun.
Yeah, definitely going to read that. I have, of course, Time Before Time.
Joker.
From
Yeah,
Image.
I'll get to that.
That's the number one, so I'll definitely
Joker
check
number
that
3.
out. Joker 3.
Future State.
We have Future State Gotham number 1, which I'm kind of looking forward to as well.
It's so I wanted to ask you about this one. Is this like part of Futures, like what we already went through, or are they just starting this up?
I think it has to do with the Red X character, who is got something going on in the Teen Titans Academy book right now. We don't really know exactly what, but that was also part of the storyline in the Future State Teen Titans book. Okay. So this is, it's definitely a continuation of whatever happened in Future State Titans.
Oh, okay.
I believe, because I believe this is Red X, centered around Red X. And I'm hoping we find out a little bit more about that character, because you don't really know that much about him yet, but it's interesting. It definitely has my interest because, again, you and I famously didn't read much Future State. But I did start reading Teen Titans Academy, and it got me interested in that character. So
famously,
like we've been
famously
to our listeners.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like the
curious.
look of this cover. I like the idea of, something going on in Gotham. I like like Gotham is the story, or that's what it says. I don't know, but we'll see. So I'm kind of intrigued by that one.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that next week. Time Before Time, as we said before, this one here from Image, I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the title or the covers that we looked at. I'm very intrigued by that one.
Yeah, it looks neat. I definitely want to read it.
Yeah. Silver Coin #2, and these are anthologies. I can't wait for that. That looks really good. And also Silver City from Aftershock. Silver City #1. I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good coming out. I'm looking forward to reading that. I'm going to try. If I read them early, John, I'm going to try to reread them before the show. So
that's the whole thing is I want to read Time Before Time, but I'm going to wait until next Tuesday to read it. So I can actually talk about it.
Right. And we have Spider-Man, the secret, Shadow Web or something like that. That's
Spider
#2 is
I think
coming
it's
out
called.
tomorrow or today. So we'll be able to read that. That's
definitely
really good
looking
story.
forward to that because I liked the first issue.
I meant
quite
to
a
put
bit.
that image in here too.
Yeah,
that one's really good. All right, that's it for checkout this week. You got anything else you wanted to talk about? Any other books you read past week?
Well, I read, as I mentioned, I read some older things that I wanted to get caught up on.
Oh, okay.
So I read Vision, Tom King's. Vision,
oh yeah.
Which
the
I
whole
hadn't
thing.
Read.
I read that.
Yeah, I read the whole thing.
I read that a while ago.
Yeah, I read the whole thing.
That's
really
a good
liked
story.
It.
Yeah,
it was a really good story. Really interesting what he did there. I liked it quite a bit. If you haven't read it, it's definitely worth the read. And then I read House of M because I had also never read that.
Yeah, I haven't read that.
Based on the WandaVision show, I was really interested to go back and read House of M. And there's definitely a lot of plot points from that comic series that played out in that show. It was a really good series, actually. I enjoyed that too. So I can recommend both of those. Like I said, they're not brand new, but they're both worth reading. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. That it?
That is it. Yeah.
All righty. Let's get to Real World then.
Yeah.
You said, what'd you check out this week in Real World?
Yeah, like I said, not a whole lot. I didn't watch a lot this week. I mentioned last week my wife worked a lot last week, so she wasn't off with me on Thursday, so we didn't watch. Normally we sit down and watch a season of something or whatever. We didn't do that. And then Sunday was Mother's Day, so we also didn't watch a lot of TV. But I did watch, and I know we'll get to it later, but I did watch both episodes of The Bad Batch.
Yep.
Really enjoyed those. And then that is really kind of it, other than, like I said, our regular weekly shows. I watched Big Sky, which I still really like. I can't even think of what else we watched. The Nevers. We watched the next issue of The Nevers, which that's still pretty good. I think there's only one episode of that left. I believe it's only 6. And that's it. Really, it's a really short week this week for me on Real World because we didn't watch a whole bunch. I'm actually now stacked up. I've got like 6 things piled up that I want to watch that I haven't got a chance to watch yet.
And you haven't watched the one yet on Netflix, right?
I haven't watched the one. I really still want to see the Without Remorse.
Yeah.
One thing I did watch is I watched the season premiere of Mythic Quest on Apple TV. The first 2 episodes of season 2 dropped, so I did watch those.
There's actually 3 episodes. Did you see the one that dropped in April?
Yeah, I watched it. We talked about it. I talked about it when I watched it, but yeah, it was kind of like an interim COVID special,
right?
And yeah, I watched that, and then I watched the first 2. So that's a really funny show.
Oh, I love that show. Yeah, Jen and I
But,
started that back up again because it started on the 7th, the season premiere, and they drop on Fridays. I checked that out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I still want to watch Jupiter's Legacy. I haven't got a chance to see any of that.
I did. I did.
I want to
good.
watch. See, that's the opposite of what I've heard. But
really,
but yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I have heard nothing but bad.
Really
about it. Yeah. I did read the comics, so I'm interested in it. But I heard. Well, like I said, I guess we'll get to it. You can bring it. You can talk about it. But I heard nothing but bad things about it. I've
only seen. Did I see one or two episodes? I think I saw the first episode at least, and I like it. I watched it, and again, I watched it in the theater. Has variable aspect ratios because, well, you know the story because there's flashbacks. Yeah,
but that's what I heard. Most people don't like is that it's very. They say it's very confusing.
Not at all.
It's like Witcher-esque where you're like bouncing between timelines.
I haven't read the books, and
the books are two different series.
Right.
There's a
Martin
series
went
that takes
into
place
the entire breakdown today on Nerdy Legion, and he does a really good job. Check that out if you're not familiar with the books.
They've meshed both of the comic series into one entity by bringing like the past and the present together.
No, I don't think they have. Not according to Martin. It's just all they did is it's not. It's
again, I haven't seen it. This is just what I've read. What I've read from people, but
I don't think that's what they did at all. I haven't read the books. I just know listening to Martin, like I said, go listen to him on Nerdy Legion. He does an awesome breakdown of how they actually. It's like Jupiter's Legacy is one set of books, and then it's like Jupiter's Circle is another.
Jupiter's Circle, right? One series is when they're younger. And one series is when they're older.
But in Jupiter's Legacy, there are flashbacks. And that's all. And according to Martin, that's the case. And they are there. So the flashbacks, like I said, it's like most of the thing is in the widescreen aspect ratio with the bars at the top and the bottom. Right. And then when they go to a flashback to like the 1930s, their origins or whatever, you go full screen. Which is, it's nice. It's kind of cool. I have zero problem with figuring out the story. It's very clear. I understand it completely. It's not like The Witcher at all. I mean, you and we got through The Witcher and I was like, what the heck just happened? I enjoyed the story and I didn't even understand the time jumps. This is very clear. Like I said, even the aspect ratios tells
changes.
You we just went back in time, and it's like, and not only that, in the story they say, I mean, at one point they're like, what was dad like when he was younger? Well, 80 years ago, your dad, and it'd be his uncle talking about it, and then they flash back. I mean, how much more clear can you get? So I guess Jupiter's Circle, and I'm just going by what Martin said, I think Jupiter's Circle takes place in the 50s. So it is before Jupiter's Legacy, because Jupiter's Legacy takes place present day with some flashbacks to their origins. Jupiter's Circle takes place before Jupiter's Legacy, but it's not. They didn't really mesh them.
Flashback.
I think you're gonna like it. I really do. I'm
still gonna watch it.
Yeah,
I watch anything superhero related or comic book related, anyways. Yeah. But I just, like I said, haven't heard good things about it. That doesn't mean anything, Right. Like, it could be really good. So. But just kind of going off of what I've little bit that I've heard and read.
Yeah, I actually I jumped on and I did a recording for my home theater one based off of it too the other day, and it's going to be in this week's podcast. Just scenes wise, because I had it as a recommendation as a home theater fan. It's a great take because it's great explosions, great. I mean, there's a lot going on there. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the production of like Winter Soldier, but I'm not Winter. Yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier. I wouldn't say it's like that, but it definitely has the. It's a Netflix. I thought great picture, great sound. Good story. I mean, I like the story a lot, and I think people just, when you hear Martin, it's like, so to give you an idea, and this is very rough, But apparently, like, if you run to the store right now and you want to buy it and read it and you get volume 1, that's actually Jupiter's Circle. Because they put the books out of order from when they were actually released. They put them in chronological order. When Netflix bought them, they re-released the books and they released them as trades. They released them in chronological order. And Martin does the whole breakdown because he's read them. He read them a long time ago, but he never read Jupiter's Circle. So he's like, I saw the show and I want to go and read the books again, but he doesn't have them anymore. So he goes to the store and he buys volume 1 and he goes, I don't know what this is. I've never read this. But it's so funny listening to him because by the end of it, Nick's like, well, it sounds like they did a good thing because now you really like Jupiter's Circle. He goes, no, I still hate them. But read them in this order. He's so funny. He's contradicting himself.
That's funny.
He's like, it's so bad they did this. But read them in the order that they just released them because what he's saying is if you read Jupiter's Circle first, you'll get the backstory for what's on the show. And I'm like, no way. I just want to watch the show and then I'll read it after the fact.
Right.
But yeah, I liked it. So, but I also saw.
I'm sure I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to at least start it tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, we can plug along with it. You'll binge it and you'll be done with it by next week, but I'll probably be 4 episodes in. I will say though, I did get a Daredevil vibe because it is Netflix and it went to when they go to their opening intro. They'll have a part of the show and then they'll go to the music and the intro with the credits. It felt like a Daredevil vibe from when I think you'll understand what I mean by that. The music it had the same type of vibe as when Daredevil was on Netflix. So that was kind of cool too. I checked out Justice Society World War II. Did you see?
That
came out.
I've seen the trailer for that.
Came out today. But I checked that out. That's pretty cool. I actually enjoyed that. Basically, Flash goes back in time. Barry.
Right.
So, have you seen? Do you know the story? Or
Well, I've seen the trailer for it. That's it. I mean, I only know the trailer.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't know if it was a comic or anything, but
no, I don't think so. I mean, it's all based on. Well, they're all based on like mashups of multiple comics, probably.
Yeah,
but
I think you'll like it. If you get a chance to see it, check it out.
I will.
Mystic Quest. We already talked about. Big Sky. That's the one that I'm like, oh boy. It's Jen and I are in the middle of it. I'm on my phone, and I'm like, because like in the mid-season, like pretty much everybody was killed off, all the characters, and you're like, where'd everybody go? And now it's all new characters, and you're just not as invested in them. I don't know about you.
Well, it's a whole new story. It's a whole new storyline. I don't know. I still like it.
I like it. It's just not as engrossing.
It's just not the same. Right. It's not the same story as what we started.
I mean, you still have the two girls, the private detectives.
Right.
But
it's just now it's a new mystery.
I like the new the U.S. Marshal. I like him.
Yeah.
He's a cool new character.
Right.
But all right.
I don't know. Like I said, I like it.
Yeah, I do. It's just not as good as the first half, I would say. But
I mean, I agree. I agree with that, but I don't know. It's still good. I like Catherine Winnick, so you can't go too wrong.
Yeah, I figured that. And The Warrior, episodes 1 and 2. Really good. Good Asian.
Yeah.
The good Asian.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. I love what's the main character there, the warrior?
Assam.
Yeah. You were right. Episode 1 is a little slow. I'm watching this one on my own. I couldn't get Jen into this one. So.
Oh, no?
No.
I think she would like it.
I
don't know.
Too,
Lydia really liked it. But.
Yeah. But by the end of episode 2, I am just like, when that ended, I wanted to actually, I had to go to bed. I'm like, I can't keep going. But
I don't even remember episode 1 and 2 anymore because I've seen it all. So it's hard to remember. One is basically
the introduction.
Yeah, that's him coming off the boat.
And he beats up those 3 cops there.
I guess at the end of the episode, he gets the job with the tongue.
Yeah. And then episode 2, he basically gets arrested.
Yeah.
And that's
that's right. Yeah.
Remember? So, and now they end it like he's in jail. They're going to try him for murder. I mean, the racism and everything going
it's really
on.
Bad.
Oh my God, it's brutal.
It's really bad.
Absolutely.
Really
they're like, oh, but what's funny is at the same time, the cop's right. He is a criminal. They had just
he's working for the Tong. Right.
That
it's
night they had
the
just
mob.
murdered those guys at the wagon.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. And you're like, he had just done all that, so it's like they just don't have the evidence for that. But for all intents and purposes,
it's the mafia. Like it's kind of the mafia before, or it's the Chinese mafia.
But the mayor's wife's like, you don't look like a murderer to me. And it's like, well, I don't know if he actually killed anybody that night.
I don't think he has at that point, but he's running with that crew.
Right.
Young June and the other guys there. So yeah.
So it's good.
Young June is really cool too. He's a good character.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. Really enjoy that. John's right.
There's some really good martial arts there too. Really good. I don't know if you've seen a lot of it yet, but there's going to be a lot of really good martial arts.
There is. And I know how much you like that stuff a lot.
I do. I actually really do like that stuff. But yeah,
that's really good.
Really high. And like I said, I don't want to blow it up too much and then have you be disappointed. But season 2 is so much better than season 1.
Oh, really?
Because they are like, everybody's like into their role. Like they've fleshed everybody out so much that it just kind of, they hit their stride, and season 2 is really good. So, yeah.
Cool. I almost had a sneeze coming on.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, oh no.
Oh
no. Yeah, that's also on. Did you see on HBO Max they have Superman and Lois? The first part of the season is already on HBO Max.
Four episodes.
Four or five. I think the first 5. Yeah. I think they've had 5 come out or something like that.
They had 5?
I saw them there. Yeah, that's on there. I'm wondering if they're gonna. Now, are they gonna wait, or when they start that season starts up soon, right? Starts back up like
May 28th, I believe.
Oh, is it later?
I thought it was the 28th.
Maybe.
I could be wrong, but they've already started showing the commercials and the announcements for it coming back. So
cool.
I think it's the end of the month.
Yeah. So, all right. I think that's all I have. You want to get to the Bad Batch?
Sure.
All right. So what do you think so far? You hadn't seen any of it last week. Have you seen? You've seen both episodes now.
I haven't seen any. Yes, I've seen both. Yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes now. Yeah. This is another one of those shows that I couldn't have been less interested in leading up to it. But I really like it. Yeah. Again, Dave Filoni, Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised you couldn't have been less interested.
I just had no interest in those characters at all. Based on, again, first 4 episodes of season 7 or season 8, whatever it was. It just didn't do a whole lot to get me that invested in those characters, really. But this definitely did. I'm already invested. I'm super on board. I love that it started out. Now, they didn't do this on episode 2, but in episode 1, it was kind of like you had the Clone Wars voice guy, and he was just like, you were right back into the Clone Wars right off the bat, But they didn't do that in episode 2, which I was a little disappointed that we didn't get that guy. But I guess since the show was going in another direction, we're probably not going to have him anymore. But
that's I mean, we'll talk a little bit.
I know we're trying to go a little spoiler free right now, but yeah, overall, I like it. Yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah, and what'd you think? I mean, you like the timeline. Now that you know what it is, okay?
Now that I know what it is. Yeah.
What was the other thing? I thought, 2 things we got since we talked last week. One, obviously, we got another episode. I thought the other episode 2 was a bit of a drop off from episode 1. It wasn't as, obviously, it's it's only a half hour compared
Well,
to.
right. Yeah. It wasn't 70 minutes. So,
and it didn't have it was very, story driven. It wasn't not a lot of action, not anything like that. But the bit of news, I don't think we knew this. It's 16 episodes.
Oh, I didn't realize that either.
Oh, you didn't know? We found that out during the
idea.
week. I was like, this is 16 episodes. It's going until like August.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense because the Clone Wars seasons were, 20 episodes.
They were seasons. Yeah, they were like legit TV seasons.
Right. So that's great, though. Yeah, I didn't know that, but
and that makes me feel better about like episode 2. I'm like, I love little stories like this. If I know I'm getting, 16 episodes,
right?
That's
what we said going back to, everybody goes back to Game of Thrones season 8, but like I would have loved the episode where they were just all sitting around the fire drinking beer and telling stories. If I was getting 16 episodes,
right?
I hated it when I was only getting 6, and that was one of them. Or just like season 7 of the Clone Wars, where you're only getting 12, and 4 of them are like the Bad Batch, and then 4 of them are like the Ramirez sisters or whatever.
Right.
Like those might have been good stories if I had 30 episodes or something.
Didn't we get, what was it? It was 9, wasn't it? We got 9.
I thought it was 12 because it was 4, 4, and 4.
Oh, I thought it was 3, 3, and 3. But maybe you're right. I don't know. It's 6 of one, half a dozen.
I think
of the
it was
other,
4, 4, and 4 because we talk about like the last 4 being like a 2-hour movie.
That's right. Yeah, because every single one of those was
so good. But it's great to get that episode, like you said, when you're getting 14 more.
Exactly. So I just love that we have this like all the way through the summer.
Yeah.
All the way into August. I meant to look up the date.
Yeah, because I kind of expected it to be over when Loki started. Like, I thought this would bring us up into Loki and then it would be done.
But did you, we should have said this in news. You see Loki got bumped up a week? Is it
a couple of days?
No, Tuesdays.
It got bumped to Wednesdays.
Oh, Wednesdays. That's what it was.
Because
it got bumped to Wednesdays.
Wednesday is New Comic Book Day. So, and I think that is going to be their new day for comic book shows going forward.
Oh, okay. I know Loki is going to drop on Wednesdays. That is right.
But I think they were setting it up to where...
Which means I'll never remember anything when we go to talk the following Tuesday.
I know. But, they wanted to coincide with New Comic Book Day, which I think is awesome. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
that's really cool.
But yeah, we get Loki like 2 days earlier, so that's cool.
2 days earlier. Nice. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. All right. You want to... wrap it up then?
Yeah, sure.
We'll wrap this up. All right. That's not too bad. Wow. We are tight. 117?
Yeah, tight 117. We haven't been. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't have a lot of news.
Didn't have a lot this week.
And we stretched. It might have helped if I remembered a couple more books.
Right.
I read it. I liked it.
Yep.
Back to you.
Cut, print.
Exactly.
Well, and then we didn't have a lot of Real World because I didn't watch a lot this week. So it was just
That's okay. That's
just a quick week for us.
We're gonna get into a little Kryptonite after
We're
this.
lean and mean. You can listen to this on your way to your comic shop. You can be locked and loaded for your comic book buying.
I gotta stop talking. You're doing a promo.
I know.
What more do you want? Mute my mic. Look at you. Wow. All right. That'll do it for this week. We'll be back with a little bit of Kryptonite Key Club, where we talk spoilers of Bad Batch. But until next week, you can find us on Twitter at brightside_chat, or you can contact John directly on Twitter at Arkham Comics with an X, or you can email us at brightsidechat@gmail.com, and check out all the great podcasts on Nerdy Legion, especially the aforementioned Nerdy Legion with Martin and Nick. See how that works? And check us out on YouTube. We didn't pick up any subscribers this week, John. Slow week.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Something with
holiday.
My makeup must have been off. I don't know.
Yeah.
But check us out over on YouTube, where you can see all the images of all the comic books we just talked about, and hit the subscribe, the like button, all that good stuff. If you don't want to, that's fine too. All right,
or
John.
don't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're just having fun.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No
We're
pressure.
just having fun. Like we said when we started, if it's just us talking, it'll be just us talking. Now we just have documentation. And
right.
John said I was funny once, so I'm going to save that one.
Timestamp it.
Timestamp that. All right. We'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody.
All right. Live long and prosper.
Been working out your finger.
I have. My hand doesn't
wrong
hurt anymore.
sounder. Look at me go.
Oh, jeez.
Where did it go?
I don't know.
Put it in after the fact. Oh, there it goes.
It's a live show, folks.
We'll do it live. I'll probably leave it all in. Who cares? Where's the sounder?
Well, yeah, just leave it.
Yeah. Who cares? All right, John. Now let me see if I can find that one. Where's the door lock? Where is it? Oh, there. I got too many sounders for us here.
Too many buttons now.
We got
Closet of Justice.
talked enough about him today. All right, John, is that door locked?
It is.
All righty then. Let's get into the Bad Batch, episode 1. I saw so many people. I mean, it was dead on that Kanan from Rebels,
Yeah.
right? As a young kid.
Right.
Kanan, right? That was his name, right?
His name was Caleb.
Caleb, but he's
But
Kanan
he becomes
here.
He becomes Kanan Jarrus, yeah, in
Right.
Rebels.
But here's the thing. I knew it was him right away. And it's like, there were people online that were like, I was blown away. I read this after the fact. I didn't even I'm like, it sounds
because the name
just
wasn't
like him.
right. The name wasn't the same, so I don't think everybody caught that.
Right, but I have this weird, and this isn't a brag. This is this is how dumb I am. I have my memory goes a ton by sound. So
Right.
if we're watching TV and Jen's like, who is that person? And I'll close my eyes and listen to them talk. And if I can hear them talk, then the Rolodex of my mind starts
Right.
going, he was in this. I just need to hear him say something. He was a detective. He did this. He did that. Right. And I'll do the whole thing. And bam, I'll get it. But
Right.
sometimes it doesn't even take that long. I just go, I hear the voice and I'll just know. I know that person. I have a horrible memory for everything else, like books I read last week.
But that wasn't Freddie Prinze, right?
Yes, it was.
Was it? Okay,
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was Freddie Prinze doing the voice or not.
Yeah. I'd forgotten it was Freddie Prinze, but then after the fact, it's like, it wasn't, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, so I never looked it up. I just knew that's who it was, because I said to you last week, I'm like, oh, you're going to get that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the plot hole one, I also told you about last week that I'm sure you picked up on, but might not have struck a nerve with you. But yeah, Freddie Prinze being in it, I saw all this chatter during the week that everybody was shocked that they found out that was him. And I was like, it sounded just like, I thought he did a really good job of sounding like a kid too.
Yeah, he did. And like I said, that also coincides with the story from the comic that I was talking about. Like the part in the beginning where Master Balaba gets killed and all that
Yes.
stuff. That is also in the comic.
And when you talked about the comic last week, and I didn't want to spoil anything for you because I was like, oh my God.
Right. So basically the comic series is what happens after he jumps across the ravine.
Oh, okay.
And kind of leads him up into Rebels. So I don't know that if they'll explore much more. We might not see him again in this series. I'm not sure.
No,
if
that
we
might
will or
just
not.
be a tie-in to
Right.
if you want to go read that comic, which now I do,
Right.
and you want to, you know what I mean, and it ties it all in because, to your point,
I mean, they're
why
definitely
would
still
you do it? You already
They're
have
definitely
that
still
story.
hunting him, know, but I don't know if we'll see that in this show because the story doesn't really revolve around him and it goes in a different direction.
Okay.
Is the plot hole you're talking about how they switch from using clones to
Yeah.
conscripted? Okay, yeah.
Isn't
I
that
caught
awesome?
That too. Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
It's like, because, I mean, that even explains...
Because you wonder, right? It's like, well, where'd all the clones go? Why are they using...
And, and they also talked about how not talented, I guess talented is the term, but how talented the clones are compared to what they're gonna get, which is just, volunteers.
Well, that was the Kaminoans trying to keep their money train going. So they're like, well, our clones are far superior to conscripted soldiers.
Right.
And Tarkin was basically, yeah, but they're so much cheaper.
Yeah.
And we're just throwing bodies at people. Like, we don't care if,
Right. Yeah, they're going...
I mean, if he dies, we'll just throw 5 more at the problem, it's cheaper. Yeah. So
there goes one. No, but I even liked the idea. Think of Obi-Wan in Star Wars talking about these, blaster fire too accurate. Like, he's thinking that it's like clones. They're accurate.
Right, because the clones were
really good.
They were really good. Yeah, all through the Clone War. I mean, he served with them through the whole thing.
Yeah,
so in his
general.
mind, that's what the troops are.
Right.
Now he probably knew at that point that they had switched to using
I don't know.
Imagine he knew that they weren't all clones at that point, but maybe not.
Maybe not, because
he's hiding away on Tatooine. So
literally,
who knows what he knows?
Right when the Bad Batch story takes place, Order 66.
Right, he goes into hiding.
He basically, delegs Anakin and then goes into hiding.
Right.
It's like, and that's it. So all of this backstory that we're getting here, he probably doesn't know all of it. He might have, actually, you know what? We're going to find out. We'll find out in the Obi-Wan story where he gets his information from, if any information. But yeah, I thought,
you're right. He might have been still thinking that they were clones and a lot more accurate.
Yeah. So I thought the first episode, it had a ton of stuff in it just to grab you, and General Tarkin coming in, and
right, there was enough crumbs and Easter eggs from the other stuff to draw you in, but the clones themselves ended up being really engaging. Like, they did a better job of giving each one of them their personalities and starting to flesh them out a little bit more. And then, of course, what's the name of the one that stays behind and is going to be hunting them now?
Yeah, he's like Deadshot or something, but he's not Deadshot. But yeah, he's a sniper.
I can't remember what it is. Crosshair or
Crosshair, I think it is.
That?
Yeah, because he's got the crosshair for the eye.
Yeah. So of course, he stays behind. And
I thought he actually was with them in the Rebels story, wasn't he? Which takes place after this, like years later. I thought he was in that.
I don't remember them in Rebels.
They showed up. They ran into him somewhere in the Rebels story. Yeah, they run into him at the end of the Rebels story.
Yeah, I don't remember.
As old friends.
But yeah, Rebels definitely takes place after this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he comes around because, again, he's got the whole soldiers follow orders things and he stays behind. But, there's still that whole thing with Tarkin and not liking clones, and, they might end up being at odds with each other, and he may come back around. Who knows? But
yeah,
as of right now, he's definitely not one of the good guys. So
yeah, I was talking to one of our listeners, Zach. He's big into this. We've talked about him in the past. He's actually he gives me a lot of information on this backstory stuff. And one of the things he told me this week, he says, in the old Battlefront game, you played as the 501st throughout the war. One mission, you go back to Kamino. They made clones to fight the other clones and the Empire. I'm hoping they end this series with that siege. Basically, Vader shows up, and that's what puts an end to the clones. The fact that the Kaminos were using the chips to train new clones to help fight the new Empire. I think that would be a great way to end this. So he has all that backstory, and I'm like, that's fantastic.
Well, because then what you wonder is about Omega, right? Because she's also a clone.
Yes.
But she's not a clone of Django. At least we don't think so. So,
yeah, like the
what
daughter?
were they working
Yeah.
on? Right. So they were working on other clones as well. And
Well, they have
she
accelerated
obviously-
growth, so she probably isn't. Well, I
But
don't
they
know,
don't all,
maybe.
because Boba didn't, Boba Fett had regular growth. Like, Django
was
wanted
unaltered,
one clone.
right.
Right. He was unaltered and he grew normally.
How old
so,
is Boba in this stage here? He's got to be almost 15 at this point. What's the time
Yeah, because
period
in the
between?
Clone Wars, he was like 8, 9
Yeah.
years old, right? So
Yeah, so that's probably only actually. So yeah, he's probably only 10 or
probably
11.
like 10 or 11,
So she
12,
could
somewhere
be.
around
She
there.
could be a Django because he had just died 2 years earlier.
Well,
Django.
she could be, but like I said, she could also be another. She obviously was important to the director there of Camino.
Yeah. What does she
you
have?
didn't
Like
want her-
telepathic power or something like? It's something or I can't.
Empathic, or I don't know,
Empathic?
but
Ah.
obviously there's more. Like the theory I saw this week is that she might be a Palpatine clone. So
Like
yeah,
Rey?
we'll have to see. Yeah,
She's part of Rey's family or something like that.
maybe.
Turned in
Yeah.
something.
I mean,
like
again,
that.
there's wild speculation out there because it just started and everybody's wondering. But obviously she's going to be important.
Yeah. Well, I hope
she's going to
so.
play a role, and you wonder what they were working on. Because again, they clone. That's their job is to create clones. So they can't all be from Django. They're working on other lines,
Right.
probably for other customers and doing whatever. So it'd be interesting to see what she turns out to be.
Yeah, but the Caminos wanted her gone. Right? If I remember right, like they were like gave the blessing, take her, get her out of here.
Did they? I thought she ran off.
Yeah, but
I thought
she
she's-
ran off because they the
Lama Su or whatever.
maybe it was one of the Caminos was cool with it, if I remember right. I can't remember. Exactly.
I know the one that was like the science director.
But they didn't want the
Lama Su
Empire
or
to get a
whatever?
hold of her.
Right.
Is basically what it was. Even the Caminos were like, we didn't want the Empire to get a hold of her. And I thought that was kind of a funny thing in the first one where they said these 5 clones or whatever it is. I think it said 5. And there were 5, but one of them isn't a clone.
Right.
But she is.
Right.
So
She is.
makes
Right.
the
She
5th.
is the one.
And that was
right.
pretty cool how they told that after the fact. They're like, he's
Right.
actually not a clone. It's like,
Yeah.
so, really, I mean, a lot of cool stuff here, and it's fantastic that we're going all the way to August with this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
I
happy
thought
about it. I
you
didn't
saw
even know
that
that
too.
No, I didn't see it.
Um,
That's really cool.
yeah, really cool. Yeah, I should have looked that up beforehand, but I thought you had that too. But all right. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Looking forward to Friday's episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's tough. We're recording so early in the week now. Now I got to wait extra day.
I know. Well, but it's closer to the last one you just watched, right?
Yeah, I
It's
know.
one
Now
day
I've got a
sooner
shot
than-
of remembering it.
Right.
Oh, except for Loki. Oh, poor Loki.
Yeah.
But all right, look at that. Nice and easy. This is gonna be good. All right,
Yeah.
cool. I get to have my dinner early now.
There you go.
All right, we'll be
complain
back
about
next
that.
week.